Hello and welcome to Conlang Calligraph's Everyday Vulcan Language Lessons, with all credit to Mark R. Gardner for creating the language. Lesson 9. I can't with this. Negation in sentences. So, we've somehow managed to get this far into the lessons without touching on basically half the possible things there are to say. So, in this lesson, we'll start off with how to say not. Not. Re. This, at least until we get into the weeds, is pretty simple to use, and I meant to introduce it like 5 lessons ago. Basically, you normally stick it in front of the verb and go. I like you. I clun do. I clun do. I don't like you. Re I clun do. Re I clun do. Or, when you use a helper verb, it goes in front of that. You must trust the doctor. Vun sarafel du hasu. Vun sarafel du hasu. You must not trust the doctor. Ri vun sarafel du hasu. Ri vun sarafel du hasu. Or, if it makes sense in context, you can do what we learned in the last lesson and say, Ri vun sarafel n hasu. I can speak Vulcan. Kupstarben n Vulkansu. Kupstarben n Vulkansu. I can't speak Vulcan. Rikupstarben n Vulkansu. Rikupstarben n Vulkansu. Now, it does start to get more complicated. For instance, when you're using multiple verbs, you would also generally put it at the very beginning. I don't want to touch the lematia. Riatlu estel n lematia. Riatlu estel n lematia. However, there are shades of meaning depending on what you negate. To see. Glator. Glator. I do not hope to see you. Riroktor glator ndu. Riroktor glator ndu. Or, I hope not to see you. Roktor riglator ndu. Roktor riglator ndu. Or maybe you have multiple unconnected verbs, like, she wants and needs a doctor. Aitlu ebolau kove hasu. Aitlu ebolau kove hasu. Emphasizing that this is a female subject. Or if she doesn't want or need a new doctor, we're going to need the word or. Or. Il. She does not want or need a doctor. Riatlu il bolau kove hasu. Riatlu il bolau kove hasu. Note that you don't need to repeat the re in front of the second verb. Anything after the first re is considered negated. But what if she wants but doesn't need a doctor? But. He. She wants but does not need a doctor. Aitlu il ri bolau kove hasu. Aitlu il ri bolau kove hasu. Okay, but what if she doesn't want but does need a doctor? Well, you're actually going to have to rearrange the order of the verbs because anything after that re is going to still be negated. So, she needs but doesn't want a doctor. Bolau hiri aitlu kove hasu. Bolau hiri aitlu kove hasu. Now, according to Mark Gardner's lessons, re can also move in front of the subject or object to suggest specific emphasis. This is something I haven't really played with, so I'll just use the examples from his lesson. Ritisha save kove. He does not like her. Normal word order. Tisha risave kove. He, specifically, does not like her. Tisha save rikove. He does not like her, specifically. Now there's one more example in Gardner's lesson. I was going to have a brilliant explanation of how it works, but quite honestly, I spent like an hour staring at it trying to figure out what was going on in the sentence. So instead of explaining it, I'm just going to bring you in on my confusion. The example is this. Tisha risonak histon topo. This is translated, Sonok does not like stone, but likes to pull. Literally, likes not Sonok, but stone to pull. Now, my gut instinct, staring at the Vulcan sentence, is that it ought to mean Sonok does not like, but stone likes to pull. But that's not what the translation says. I have no idea how we're supposed to know that stone is an object rather than a second subject. Presumably the he is supposed to give us some clue, but I really have no idea how. If I had been trying to translate this sentence, I would have gone with Tisha risonok stone he to pull. So, I have no idea. Do with this what you will. But, for the most part, you can ignore these more complicated examples. In the vast majority of cases, it just goes in front of the verb and you're good. I was gonna fill out this episode with some prepositional prefixes, but it turned out longer than I was expecting, so tune in next time for those, along with the imperative form.